All right, Shalom. I'm going to start off saying Kah Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harakak Radash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, my elder Heroine as well. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth, the sincerity, and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, I'm Kanaka on by Yasharala from the Lions of the Yasharala camp. This lesson is going into Xi Jinping's visit to Russia. All right. It says Xi leaves Russia with Putin firmly in the back seat of China's drive for a new global order. All right, and that's due to the fact that some would say that America, the United States, is losing their hegemony in the earth, but really it's being taken and forced from them by these other nations by dumping the dollar and causing the dollar to do an economic downfall, spiraling right into a pit. Um, and that's ultimately going to lead them to their destruction. But the audacity and and the confusion of the wicked, the Lord is taking them in their own demise. So they really feel like that they're going to set China up as being the powerhouse nation for this new world order that's coming in. But Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai has different plans. All right, Lord, when this lesson is edifying and serves purpose. Um, for the hopeful elect, the ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Says Xi leaves Russia with Putin firmly in the backseat of China's drive for a new global order. The Chinese leader's trip highlighted the extent to which Moscow, weakened by the war in Ukraine, may have to settle for playing second fiddle, experts told NBC News. All right, see if we get this clip. We get a little bit of it.
对，这是那百年变局这一部分，对吧？我们共同来推动。
Это как раз сейчас перемены, которые не было в течение 100 лет. Там, где вместе двигаем эти перемены. Перекиньте, пожалуйста, дорогой друг.
All right, that looked like a pleasant encounter right there. There's a whole lot of head nodding, handshaking, and waving going on. He said bye about 500 times. Um, yeah, man. That's the signs of a good relationship between two nations, two presidents, two leaders of two powerhouse nations, and both of them are not. Neither of them are allied with the United States. As a matter of fact, there's heavy sanctions on both of them, China and Russia, at the moment by the Biden administration. All right, it says as he left a state reception at the Kremlin on Tuesday, Chinese President Xi Jinping turned to his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin and said the world was was undergoing changes, the likes of which we haven't seen for 100 years, and where the two ones driving these changes together, he said. So now you have them forming their own form of alliance, kind of like NATO. Then you have the BRICS nations forming together, which Russia and China is part of that, and you got America slowly losing its dominance in the earth, man. All right. It says I agree. Putin replied, shaking hands with the Chinese leader in the exchange that was captured on camera. Xi's 3-day visit, his first since Putin invaded Ukraine last year, was latest step in Beijing's bid to promote an alternative international order that is less dominated by the United States. But experts told NBC News it highlighted the extent to which Moscow, weakened by the war, now grinding into its second year, may have to settle for playing second fiddle. But that's cool with them though. It's going to be like how America and NATO and the European Union. So that's how you're gonna have China, Russia, and the BRICS nations. And along with that is Iran. It says the trip was valuable for Putin to signal that he is not internationally isolated, and for Xi to signal to Washington that China has a reliable partner in its corner, regardless of what new American-led pressures may emerge, especially with the things that's going on with Taiwan. And Amanda Haiso, a senior China analyst at the International Crisis Group, a Brussels-based think tank, thought the two leaders' joint statements had no mention of a no-limit partnership like the one they declared weeks before the invasion of Ukraine last year. Nevertheless, it was a clear statement from Beijing to the world of the steadfastness of the Russian-China alliance, alignment, even to a cost to China's international image, she said in an email from Taipei, Taiwan. There was little signs of progress toward ending the war in Ukraine, despite Putin's praise of it for a 12-point peace proposal China released last month that had been dismissed by the United States and its allies as too favorable to Russia. Xi, who is trying to portray China as a potential peacemaker in Ukraine and elsewhere, made little mention of the conflict during his visit. All right. It says, as the Chinese leader left Moscow on Wednesday, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida left Kyiv after a surprise visit intended as a show-off of support for Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky and a counterpart to Xi Jinping's trip to Russia. Raheem Emanuel, the American ambassador to Japan, a close U.S. ally, said the dueling visit reflected two very different European Pacific partnerships. Prime Minister Kishida stands with freedom and Xi stands with a war criminal, he said in a statement referring to an arrest warrant the International Criminal Court issued for Putin last week over his alleged involvement in the abduction of Ukrainian children. So now, I did a lesson yesterday talking about one of Putin's biggest warlords, his right hand man, um, basically saying you touch him, that's a declaration of war, and we sending nukes. Roughly paraphrasing. All right. It says Moscow denies the allegations while Beijing has accused the court of using double standards. Neither Russia, China, Ukraine, nor the United States are members of the court. All right. Putin, the junior partner. Beyond Ukraine, Xi's Russia trip furthered his efforts to portray China as an emerging global leader, building the momentum from a recent Beijing brokered deal with restored diplomatic relations between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Ooh, that's going that's gonna hurt America. While Moscow, Xi, and Putin talked about the idea of a world in which no one country makes decisions for others, we are working to solidarity on on the formation of a more just and democratic, multipolar world order, Putin said on the Kremlin website. All right. I'm not going to get into all this article. It's pretty long, but you get the gist of it, man. You get the gist of it.
All right. So with that, I want to grab a couple scriptures, man, because they have thoughts that that their houses are going to live forever, and that's not only Esau; these other nations too, like the People's Republic of China. These nations are trying to create legacies within their nation, create dynasties, and global world dominance in honor for their nation. All right, so like each nation will have their own little part in the forming of the new world order. But that's the mindset of these people, man. That their houses is going to continue forever. Like they're setting up generational wealth for their children, man. While it appears that Jake or Israel is falling, the true Israelites are falling behind. But those that are first shall become last, and those that are last shall become first, man. This is Psalms 49 and 11. It says, their inward thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names, right? And ultimately, that's talking about Esau, but all these nations do that. You go over there in Asia, you got names written, cities written after their heritage, their lineage, and things like that. And but Esau does it the most, man. But all these other nations are playing the part like Esau. They're trying to become, the children of men are trying to be wicked. And 2/3 of our people are trying to be wicked like Esau, the border of wickedness. You know, but Yahweh Shem Yahushai has plans. He shall destroy them with their own demise. So these plans for the new war order that they're trying to put together is ultimately going to be their destruction. So next scripture I want to get is Job chapter 5. And it says, but you know, Yahweh Shem Yahushai has a plan of his own. It says, Job 5 and 1, it says, call now, if there be any that will answer thee, and so which of the saints wilt thou turn? For the wrath killeth the foolish man, and every slayeth the silly one, and envy slayeth the silly one. All right? I have seen the foolish taking root, but suddenly I curse his habitation. Right? So even though they think their thoughts, their house is going to live forever, but the Lord has cursed their habitation, man. All right? Even though they think they're taking root in this whole New World Order agenda, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to uproot them, man. Destroy their tabernacle. Verse 4, it says, his children are far from safety. Right? So that's what their whole point is in trying to do this, is for safety for their children, you know? And they are crushed in the gate. Neither is there any to deliver them. It says, verse 5, it says, whose harvest the hungry eateth up, and taketh it even out of the thorns, and the robbers swalloweth up their substance. Although affliction cometh not forth of the dust, neither doeth trouble spring out of the ground. Yea, man is born unto terrible as the sparks fly upward. You know, it says, I will seek unto Yahweh, and unto Yahweh I commit my cause, and that's the cause of the elect. All right, coming out here giving a testimony of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It says, which doeth great things and unsearchable marvelous things without number. Right, that's the things that Yahweh Shem Yahushai does. It says, who giveth rain upon the earth and sendeth waters upon the fields, man. All right, ultimately he does give rain upon the earth, but he's making doctrine to rain upon the earth right now, exposing the plans of the wicked, man, destroying what they're trying to set up as the New World Order. All right, verse 11 says, to set up on high those that be low, that those which mourn may be exalted to safety. Right, and even though they're so-called setting this up, man, the Lord, in the midst of him destroying this place, he's gonna be delivering the elect to safety. All right, this is the point. It says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So they're putting all this stuff together to try to push forth their agenda, but Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to disappoint them, man. You know, as soon as he started to fill his belly, the Most High is going to make him throw all that stuff up, man. So everything that he's reaping together, he's really reaping together for the children of Israel, the children of the promise. All right, Lord willing, this lesson to edify and serve his purpose with that, like Sekah Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakak Padash, Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and my elder Herawan as well. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth to sincerity and truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Shalom.